Hello everyone, I'm Derek. Welcome to my workshop. I've got the Evolution R255SMS miter saw that was sent to me, full disclosure, by Evolution free of charge, that I'm going to be doing a review on tonight. You might take that in consideration when you're watching this video, but do just know that I do have a couple of criticisms for this. But overall, it's all really good. So if you want to watch this review on the R255SMS by Evolution, please stick around and check out my video. And if you feel like it and you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, please. Alright guys, so to start off this review, we're going to talk about the business end of this miter saw. So this is a 10-inch blade that it has, and that's really the main attraction to this miter saw that a lot of people have. It's one of the things that I think are really super cool about it. If I get my fat hand out of the way, you might notice that the blade looks a little bit different. If you're unfamiliar with this saw, that is because it cuts steel, aluminum, wood, plastic, all the above. I've used it to cut all of those things. I did an introduction video for this saw, and they gave me samples to cut for everything. But in my actual use, like what I've really used it for is cutting a lot of steel. A little bit of wood, but as you would expect, steel is a harder thing to cut, and it powers right through that, and the blade is still going strong. So one of the draws to this blade and this style of saw for cutting metal is that it supposedly saves you money over time, even though the upfront cost for the blade is more than like say a chop saw blade with a abrasive wheel. Even though those are cheaper and this is more expensive up front, you supposedly get way more cuts out of this blade than you would out of all of those chop saw blades. So, or cutting wheels with a chop saw. So that's one of the draws to it. I can't actually tell you from experience whether that's true or not, because on my chop saw I've not even gone through one abrasive blade yet, because I've mostly been using this thing, and it's still sharp and cuts through metal just fine. So I think most miter saws are coming with this clamp over on one of the ends of the saw these days, but this one in particular I wanted to talk about because I think the design of it is pretty simple and straightforward. I like it. You've got an adjustment on the back that allows you to swivel it around. It does adjust up and down as well. And then you have the quick set with tightening with the threads, and then to adjust it up quickly, you can just pick it up and change the height of it real quick. The other thing that I kind of wanted to point out, and I'm not very good at coming up with like a solution to something like this, but underneath this clamp, there is a little E-clip that slides on and retains this piece here from falling off, obviously, as it's hanging there. I've actually had that clip the very first time I used it, it fell off. I think I was cutting on a piece of pipe, and the way it clamped on the piece of pipe, it caused it to bend, and it just bent that right off. I lost the E-clip. Luckily, I've got a little collection of hardware and stuff, and one of those things I have are E-clips, so I was able to just put that back on, and now it works just fine. Again, I haven't had any problems since, but just be aware that that can come off if you do decide to pick this up. or if you already have it and you're just watching this video to see what other people think about it. So now to talk about the cutting place, the cutting platform. But we'll start over here with the fence. You've got this fence that actually extends out, and that'll just give you more support. It says 4 inches worth. You can actually cut widthwise things that are 11 and 13/16 of an inch thick. So nearly a 12 inch board across here, or as thick as like a 4x4 post. I've never tried, but I would have to think you could even do a little bit bigger than that if you needed to, like a 4x6 even. So it's got pretty good cutting capacity. The other thing it's got is 9 positive miter stops. You've got one at 0, one at 15 degrees, 30 degrees, and 45 degrees on both ends of the saw. So as far as those go, they're just a little bit loose, but they include this knob that you tighten it up, and it tightens up the little bit of slop that's in there nicely for pretty accurate cuts. So it does go as far as 50 degrees for your miter angles, but it does not have a positive stop over there. It stops at 45 degrees. And this saw also cuts compound, so you can do bevel cuts and miter cuts all at the same time. It is just a single bevel though. It doesn't bevel both ways as some miter saws do, but considering all the other multi-purpose, multi-use of this saw that it offers, I don't think that that's really anything to be worried about. It also has this nice ruler machined into it. Now it's not exactly something that I think I would use a whole lot, because I'm usually using a tape measure and measuring before I even get it on there anyway. It also has these black plastic extensions that you can kind of see. Let me move the camera over there. They are plastic, a little bit flimsy. I could probably tighten the screws up on them, but not perfect, but nice that they're there, especially considering the price of this saw. I don't know what it is these days, so I'm not going to guess at it, but I really think that the saw is pretty nice, especially when you consider the price. Even for more money, I would still think it'd be worth the price. But so moving on to the handle and the trigger and the laser switch for the laser with this thing. Handle's good, comfortable. It's actually got even a diamond pattern grip, pretty nice. And then the trigger's got a good positive pull to it. A little bit of resistance, feels good. But I do have to complain about this laser switch, the switch that turns the laser on and off. I don't know if I just got a dud or what, but it would be nice to feel something that goes, you know, a little bit of resistance, and then you feel it shut off, and a little bit of resistance when you turn it on, so you know you've turned it on. Mine just slides back and forth with no resistance. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you would maybe just have to feel it to understand, but it would be nice to know, boom, okay, I felt that resistance and it slid past it, so it's on. There, I felt the resistance when I slid it past it, now it's off. It would be nice to feel that. I don't feel that here. So I'm not a miter saw aficionado, as you probably have already could tell, but I just wanted to talk about the actual sliding mechanism here. It's really smooth, it's really clean, and feels like it's pretty well made and high quality, and it just rolls through there pretty smoothly. You have a locking knob here. You just turn it, it's threaded, I'm pretty sure, and it locks the saw so you can't, or excuse me, it locks the sliding mechanism so you can't slide it while transporting it or, you know, storing it or whatever. And then it comes with this nice area to wrap the cord around, which is probably not anything extraordinary, but it's nice that it's there. Thoughtful feature. Just a pin to lock in the miter head, the motor business end of it. And then I also have to mention that it does come with a dust cover. I've just got it removed because I was told that it's best to not cut metal with that dust cover on. So I've removed it. And yeah, I guess one of the things, again, I don't know how standard this is across miter saws, but it's got a handle back here as well as this handle up here that make moving this thing around a breeze. It's so easy because you just pick it up by both of those handles and move it around. Probably the last thing of note about my experience with this that's sort of not so great is this cord clip that would clip the cord to itself has broken, as you could tell. Not a big deal, nothing I would really actually harp on. Still a 5-star tool in my opinion, but would be nice if that wasn't broken. I don't remember how it broke, but I use the tools out here in the cold quite often. It could have been just really, really cold and it broke. But a lot of this feels like it's made out of cast aluminum, I want to say, and then obviously plastic. Everything's made out of plastic these days. And then what looks to be a nice machined base. I like the base. It's shiny and clean. It looks good. They've got all the stickers kind of advertising it. I could probably do without those too, but just a personal preference thing. So yeah, at this point, I just kind of wanted to just talk about my like overall experience with it, how much I've used it, how long it's been, I guess, in service with me. I think I received this thing from Evolution back in, I want to say April or May of this year. It hasn't seen like contractor level use. It's not cutting stuff all day, every day, but I have used it, like I said, to cut a lot of steel, which I think puts a lot more stress on the saw itself than, you know, maybe going out and just cutting lots and lots of wood with. I do think that this is probably best suited for like a DIY person that maybe wants this combination to be able to cut steel. Maybe they do a little bit of welding and wood all at the same time. Like my shop is only a 200 square foot shop and I don't have a whole lot of room for big tools and a lot of them. It's kind of nice that this is all in one. If you were someone who thought about maybe having a combination of something that can cut everything, this is really, as far as I know, your only option. I'm sure somebody can comment below and let me know if that's wrong. I'm not, like I said, a big miter saw person, but Evolution's doing some pretty cool things, I think, that I think are well done, well engineered, and really pretty nice products all the way around. So again, I haven't been using this thing forever, but I think that it's going to last me a long time. If it doesn't last me 15, 20 years at the rate that I use it, then I'll be surprised, really surprised. And yeah, so just there's probably a few details I missed, a few neat features about it, things I didn't think of. If I missed those and you have this saw, maybe leave a comment below telling me what like your favorite thing about the saw versus other miter saws you've used. So yeah, again, I just want to probably for the last time thank James with Evolution, the social media manager over there, for sending this saw over to me. I appreciate it. I'm loving having it in my shop, and I think it's a really great tool. If you just ran across my channel looking for the saw, if you want to see it in action more and maybe get even further down the road thoughts on it, kind of know how it performs for me over the long term, please hit subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Let me know below if you have this saw. I'd appreciate it. Have a good one. Thanks.